Hello everyone, welcome to Edline Academy of Science. From this video I am going to teach you about true tissues. This is the third video of the Basics of Biology video series. Let's start. Now I am going to introduce the second unique character of animals, that is true tissues. All animals except poriferans and placosomes have true tissues. What are those animals? They are cnidarians, ctenophores, platyhelminthes, nematodes, annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, and chordates. Germ layer is a primary layer of cells which forms during embryonic development. Later on, these germ layers form true tissues. Most metazoans have either 2 or 3 germ layers. Any animal has a 2 germ layers such as outer ectoderm and inner endoderm is known as diploblastic animal, and this condition is known as diploblasticity. On the other hand, any animal has a 3 germ layers is known as triploblastic animal, and that condition is known as triploblasticity. In addition to ectoderm and endoderm, triploblastic animals have a third germ layer, that is mesoderm, which lies in between ectoderm and endoderm. Let's take diploblasticity. In diploblastic animal, ectoderm forms external cover and nervous system, whereas endoderm forms digestive system. Let's take a look at this diagram. This is a cross section of a body of the diploblastic animal. It has outer ectoderm and the inner endoderm. The middle cavity is gut cavity. When you draw this diagram, use red for ectoderm and use blue for endoderm. I will give you a couple of examples for diploblastic animals. The phylum cnidarians are diploblastic animals. Two examples are Hydra and Metridium. Phylum Ctenopora also has diploblastic animals. The Tentaculata and Nuda species. Let's take triploblasticity. In triploblastic animals, the ectoderm forms external cover or skin and nervous system, whereas the endoderm forms digestive system. In triploblastic animals, mesoderm forms muscular systems and structures present in between external cover and the gut. Take a look at this diagram. This is the cross section of the body of the triploblastic animal. It has 3 germ layers: outer ectoderm, which is in red, and inner endoderm, which is in blue, and in between these 2 layers there is a new layer, mesoderm, which is in green. The internal cavity is gut cavity. These are some examples for triploblastic animals. Planarians, that belongs to phylum Platyhelminthes. Ascaris, it belongs to phylum Nematodon. Except poriferans and placosomes, all other animals have triploblastic body condition. Now I am going to summarize what you have learned from this video. Among multicellular animals, poriferans and placosomes do not have thick true tissues. Poriferans have one cell thick 2 sheets of thin cell layers such as outer pinacoderm and inner choanoderm, whereas placosomes have dorsal epithelium and ventral epithelium. These 2 animal phyla have different types of cells. Poriferans have 4 different types of cells such as pinacocytes, amoebocytes, porocytes, and choanocytes, whereas placosomes have 4 different types of cells: cover cells, gland cells, fiber cells, and cylinder cells. As such, poriferans and placosomes show cellular levels of complexity. Rest of the animals show higher levels of complexity. For an example, diploblastic animals such as cnidarians and ctenophores have two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. In between these two layers, they have mesoglia as poriferans. So, diploblastic animals show tissue level of complexity. Except cnidarians and ctenophores, rest of the animals are relatively higher forms. They show triploblastic condition. They have three germ layers, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and in between mesoderm. They show organ and system levels of complexity. In this video, you have learned about two unique features of animals such as body symmetry and tooth tissues, which can be used to distinguish animals from plants and fungi. Let's try to answer this surprise question. Do radially symmetrical animals have distinct anterior and posterior ends? If your answer is yes, and state one example. If your answer is no, and then which kind of animals have distinct anterior and posterior ends? And third part of this question is state common names of two animals who do have distinct anterior and posterior ends. These are the answers for the question. Do radial symmetrical animals have distinct anterior and posterior ends? If your answer is yes, state one example. Actually, radially symmetrical animals do not have distinct anterior and posterior ends. If your answer is no, then which kind of animals have distinct anterior and posterior ends? So the bilateral symmetrical animals have distinct anterior and posterior ends. State common names of two animals who do have distinct anterior and posterior ends. Fish and frogs. My next video is about animal body plans and axis. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I will reply them as soon as I can. Thank you.